Hello lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia Janae. I want to thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I want you to hit that subscribe button at the bottom and that post notification bell so that you will be notified every time I post a video. Come on and join the family. It's free. It does not cost you anything to become a subscriber to the Mia Janae movement, because we're all moving. No, I'm only playing. But this channel is going somewhere. We are growing, we are flourishing, and we are on our way to the top. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I normally do fashion hauls on this channel, but I'm deciding to do a story time to let you into my life just a little bit more, let you know a little bit more about me and some of the things that I have gone through. Today's story time will be about the time that I had contractions and I was not pregnant. I had contractions and there was no baby. That equals no fun. So sit there and let's go through this together. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, whatever it is that you're sipping on, and we're gonna talk this thing through together, and I'll let you know exactly how I made it out. Because it was a period that was very stressful for me. So let's jump right into it. So it was about, if you see me looking down, I have some of the events or some little notes written down so that I try to cover everything, and I'm gonna try not to make this video so long, but I want to be able to cover everything that that I experienced. And let me just start out by saying I am not a doctor, I am not a nurse, so I'm not giving out any medical advice. I'm just giving you my experience and what I went through. So if you find yourself in this situation or something that's similar to this, I would say consult and visit your doctor. I am not a medical expert at all. So now that I have that out of the way. So this happened back in about 2011. So about 9 years ago. So it was probably about August 2011, I had started experiencing, in this video, I'm sorry, I want to make another point. It may be a little TMI for some. I am going to be talking about some feminine or female problems, as I don't, want to be too graphic, but I will, be dealing with menstrual cycles and things of that sort. So if you are a little queasy about that, just mute the video and watch it. So again, like I said, it was about 2011. I started experiencing really bad cycles and really bad, pains in my stomach. And I've always had irregular cycles. So to go a month without a cycle wasn't odd for me. That was how, back when I was younger, I thought it was a blessing. So I got older and realized that, it really was abnormal. So I would say back in August of 2011, I started having these really bad, really bad cycles and really bad cramping. What I thought was cramping anyway. So it would last about maybe a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks, and it'll go away for a week. So during that week, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fine, I'm out the clear, I'm going about my business, living life. And then it would come right back and last maybe 3 days, 5 days, and it would stop again. Now, I know some of you will say, why didn't you go to the doctor? I am a procrastinator when it comes to going to the doctor's office. I don't know why, because I've worked in several doctor's offices and I know the importance of going to see the doctor and things of that sort. But for some reason, I'm very slow and apprehensive with going to the doctor. So this went on for several months, I should say. There was never a day that I did not have on protection, because I never knew when the cycle would start. It started when it wanted to, and it stopped when it wanted to. Some days, sometimes it would start for a day and be over by that night. And as women, we do know that something is wrong with, our bodies let us know, and it gives us signals. Did I ignore my signals? Yes. Did I ignore my body? Yes. Do I recommend that? No. Listen to your body. Do what you have to do for you, because it gives you signals to help you prevent emergencies or catastrophes down the line. So I'm gonna try to make this really short because I don't want to, keep you too long. So I would say this went on from August, September, October. I mean, it went all the way, several months. I remember one particular time I was at work and I had on protection. Thank God. I was in the cafeteria with my coworkers and we were talking, and I started laughing. Immediately, I had to get up and go to the bathroom. Actually, I had to go to my desk, get my purse, and then go to the ladies' room. And it was just, so it was really, really a stressful time. It was an emotional time, because being in that situation, I became anemic, and I was always tired. I was always weak and drained, and I should have known. I know I should have known better, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So therefore, I'm telling you, do what you're supposed to do if you're ever in this situation. Call your doctor immediately and let them know that something is wrong. So I would walk from my office building to my car. By the time I got to the car, I was out of breath. And I figured, because I'm overweight, this is why I can't breathe. So I started trying to diet and, lose weight, because I'm like, this is crazy. I'm too young to not be able to breathe. So my mom has, she has to use oxygen periodically because she has something that she's dealing with. And so I would get in the car, she would pick me up from work, and I would get in the car and I would jokingly say, let me hit some of your air. Let me get some of that. But I had to make a joke because I didn't want her to worry, but I really couldn't catch my breath. So I remember that I would come home from work and my husband would go, what's wrong with you? Why are you so tired all the time? I'll go, and I'm figuring I'm tired because I worked all day, worked 8, 9 hours, and you're tired, and I would sit on the couch. I would get home by 5:30. By 5:45, I'm asleep, like sleep. And so, and I would wake up the next morning and I'm still tired. I'm still exhausted. I'm still drained. And I would lay down sometimes in the bed and I could hear the blood just rushing in my ears. Just like, it sounded like I can't even explain it. Maybe like running water or something. If you ever put your ear maybe to a hose that has water rushing through it, and it sounds like, a whole bunch of stuff rushing in your ears. And so I ignored that. Like, I'm getting all these signs, and I know God is like, hello, little girl, I'm trying to tell you something is wrong. So I let that go on. So I will never forget the day I had to go, or I made up my mind to go to the doctor. We had just come home. We were eating dinner. And so President Barack Obama was on TV. When I say I will never forget this day, I will never forget this day. Our president, at the time, our president was on TV. I believe he was giving a State of the Union address. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm watching TV. And all of a sudden, I had pain like I had never had before in my life. I'm talking, when I say in my life, I mean in my life. I've had all kind of pains. I've dealt with this for so long, that pain, I would pop like 6 Advils, because that's the max you could pop a day. So I would take at least 6 Advils a day. Not realizing that Advil thins your blood, so it helps, well, it doesn't help, but it causes you to flow even heavier or even more. So the pain hit, and at the time we lived with my, well, not with my mom. My mom owned a 2-family house, and she lived upstairs and we lived downstairs, and she happened to be in our apartment using a computer. And I had a pain, I'm telling you, I can't even explain it. So I sat there, and you try to compose yourself and get yourself together, and then it felt like I had to use the bathroom. So those of you who've had children already know what I'm talking about. And those who've never had children, this is probably what it's gonna feel like. I'm just saying. So I felt like I had to use the bathroom. I had to make a bowel movement. So I got up, went to the bathroom, sat down, nothing. The pain went away. You do it, flush it, you do all, wash your hands. I went back to the living room, sat down. About maybe 5 minutes later, the pain hit me again like a Mack truck. I'm talking, if you've had children, you know what contractions are. Now, I don't have any children. And so I had no idea what was going on with this body. So I felt the pressure or the urge to use the bathroom again. So I went back to the bathroom, and meanwhile my mother she's sitting at the computer and she's looking at me. And I think she asked me what was wrong or what did I feel. And I tried to explain it to her. And so she never said anything at that moment. So I sat there and I tried to go to use the restroom. Nothing again. And the pain subsided. I get back up, go through the motions again. You wash your hands, do what you got to do. And I went back to the couch. This happened about 3 times. Sat back down. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, that same Mack truck came and ran me over again. And the 3rd time when I jumped up and I went to the bathroom, only thing my mother could say was, "Don't push." And I was like, "Don't push? What is she talking about? I have to use the bathroom." And I think that I'm constipated and I need to go. I need to go to the restroom. So, child, let me tell you, all I could do was shake because the pain was so intense. All I could do was sit there and just shake and shake and shake and shake and moan and cry and shake. So I got like a plastic bottle. I put hot water in it and I laid it on my stomach and I just rolled and I would just cry. Oh my, I was in, if I could have just pulled my hair out, it was full-blown contractions that I later found that out after I went to, my doctor. But at that time, I had no idea what was going on with my body. So the next morning, it eased up enough for me to fall asleep. So I fell asleep. The next morning, I called my doctor, and he was actually not in the office. So he was at the hospital, so he wasn't able to see me. So I had to go, that was on a Tuesday. I didn't get to my doctor until a Thursday. Now, anybody that knows me knows I like to drive. And I really don't, I'm not gonna say I'll allow anybody to drive me, but if I can drive and I have to go somewhere, I drive. But it was so bad that my mother asked me to drive myself to her job, and she would drive me to the doctor's office. I couldn't even do that. I had to call my aunt to come pick me up, to take me to my mom's so we can go to the doctor. We get to the doctor. I'm trying to make this condensed. We get to the doctor. And he looks at me. He asks me a whole bunch of questions. And so he's looking like, you know how that doctor get that look, and you like, what in the whole United States of America is going on with this man? Why are you looking at me like that? So he does his exam, and he asks questions and check this and check that and pull your eyelids down. Let me see your gums. Let me see your hands. Let me see your tongue. And I'm like, why is he asking? This is like, you're my gynecologist. Why are you, But hey, I go along with it. So the nurse is like, Mia, how long have you been feeling tired and this, that, and the third? I'm like, I'm always tired. Like, I work, and you're never not tired. So he asks me if is that my mom in the waiting room, and he's like, can she come in? Like, I'm a whole married woman. Like, why does my mother need to come in the exam room? But okay, sure, she can come in. So immediately he stops talking to me. He starts talking to my mother. Like, he does not look at me for the remainder of that conversation. And what he tells her is she needs to go to the hospital right now, immediately. There's nothing that I can do for her here. She needs to go to the hospital now. Like, don't stop, don't pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to the hospital. So I'm looking like, what, okay, hold up, wait. So now in my mind I'm going, oh, I have to go to the emergency room because they're gonna take care of me in the emergency room. Child, I don't know why I thought I was going to the ER. My doctor was admitting me into the hospital, like, immediately. So he said, take this paper, go straight to the hospital. Don't stop, like, pretty much don't stop nowhere. So we get in the car, and my mother's driving, and I'm like, hey, I didn't eat, so I need to stop here. She was like, no, we have to go. I was like, Ma, I need to. No sidebars, no stopping, straight to the hospital. So we get to the hospital. Now, again, like I told you in the beginning, my mother has oxygen that she uses if she has to walk far distances. So we're in the hospital arguing over who's going to get in the wheelchair. She wants me to get in the wheelchair because I'm the one that's being admitted. I want her to get in the wheelchair because she's the one with the oxygen. So we stood there, it had to be 3 minutes, arguing about who's getting in the wheelchair. Needless to say, she won and I got in the wheelchair and she pushed me. By the time I got to where I was supposed to get to, they already had my room ready. I mean, my doctor realized how sick I was when I was in his office. So I get upstairs and I'm still, I don't know what was going through my mind. Like, every time I think about this story, I'm flabbergasted. I think I said that right. Anyway, I'm blown away because I can't really fathom and realize how close I was to death, you know? So I get upstairs and they already have, I'm not gonna cry in this video. They already have my gown ready and the bed is up. And I'm like, okay. And it's still not clicking that I have to stay in this hospital. So I'm like, why? No, I'm healthy, I'm fine. So the nurse they come in, they take, you know, they do your vitals, they do your temperature. And so she did my she did the blood pressure. And the first reading she got, I believe it was 115 over like 62 or something like that. And so she's looking like, this is impossible. So she takes the cuff off. She puts the cuff back on. She takes the blood pressure again. And I think it went up to like 120 over like 70. I think it was something like that. So they, you know, they're doing what they're doing, and they're telling me that, oh, you know, your doctor, you know, gave us these orders. We have to give you blood. You have to have a blood transfusion. You gotta get 4 pints, and they have to run 8 hours per bag or something. 4 bags, and they have to run 8. And I'm like, I gotta spend a night, lady. Yes, sit your behind down, because you're gonna be here for a while. Okay. So they come in and they draw blood, and they take it out and they examine. You know, they do whatever they have to do, and they come back and they said, well, we have to draw some more blood, because when we ran the blood count was 4.2, if I'm not mistaken. Now, from what they tell me, it's supposed to be like 13. So 4.2, you don't hardly have me. And I had been living like that for like maybe 6 months or so. So anyway, I had called my husband and I told him look, babe, I have to go to the hospital, but you don't have to come. Because again, in my mind, I don't think that I'm staying here. So, he did, obviously he came to the hospital. He's like, what was he talking about? I'm on my way. So, when they came back, they was like, we have to do this, we have to do that. And, they're moving and everybody's coming, they're coming in and out the room. And I'm like, this is not realizing how serious it was. So I'm trying to make it, really short. So what happened was they started me immediately on blood transfusion. The next day, the doctor came in and he was like, your body is going through labor. Your cervix is dilated. You're having contractions, and you have a fibroid tumor the size of a grapefruit that's actually trying to pass through like a baby. So your body is in active labor. So of course I'm going through labor, I'm going through contractions, and I don't have a baby? Really? So anyway, so they come in and they're talking and they're saying, well, if this, we're going to do surgery, and if it's connected to this, we're going to have to take, give you a total hysterectomy. And I'm going, wait, hold up. I'm only I'm early 30s. I can't, I don't have any children. And they were like, lady, listen, if we go in here, we find that this is like, you're going to bleed to death. So my husband started praying. My mom was praying. I couldn't pray because I was so, my mind was so cluttered with, emotions and feelings that all I could do was look out the window and just say, Lord. So, make a long story short, my husband prayed and he said that he was telling God, just dry it up. Don't let them don't let it be connected to anything. Don't let anything, happen that we won't be able to try and conceive children. And sure enough, by the time they got me to the OR, because they couldn't operate on me without me getting blood, because my blood was too thin, and no surgeon would operate on me, and no anesthesiologist would administer anesthesia because my blood was too low. And that's the possibility of me not coming out of surgery because they may not be able to revive me. So when everything was a go and everything was all said and done, when I went to surgery, it was exactly what my husband prayed. It had dried up, and when they went to go get it, it just crumbled and fell out. Like they didn't have to, do much of anything. So, God answered prayer. He protected me. He kept me, like he just worked a miracle in my life, because before I went down to surgery, the nurse came in. She said, I'm the head nurse. She said, I just had to come see the person that walked in here with a blood count of 4.2. She said, because you really should be in my unit, which is ICU. Like, you should not be talking, you should not be up, you should be like, I'm guessing in almost like a coma or something. So I would tell anybody, I urge anybody, if this is what you're going through or this is what you've experienced, don't wait like I waited. Go to your doctor immediately, get help. And I want to thank you all for watching my video. And this is my experience of having contractions and not being pregnant, going through labor and not having a baby. But we're still praying on that miracle baby, that God will bless us. So I want you to thank, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for staying. Join the family. Hit that post notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, have a good day. Be blessed. Bye, lovelies.